Hello everyone, my name is Gamber. Forgive me for the start of this video. I need to apologize that my audio screwed up. My own fault. I was unable to record my voice during the presentation of this video. I had a lot of nice things to say, so I'm going to repeat myself here. I was just quoting that the world seemed to have vanished, and then I start up the game again. The first thing you'll notice about this game is the skybox has changed, which is amazing. The second thing you'll notice is probably the minimap in the corner, and there's a lot of interesting little blips and blobs there. Those are villagers and enemies. They're actually enemies in the game. Another big thing I wanted to tell you guys about is the camera actually can move now. You can actually rotate the camera and do whatever you want to do with it. Apparently my brother is now playing Far Cry 4. Yay! But yeah, so you can actually rotate the camera, which is really cool. It's a little stiff right now, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong, but I'm using the middle mouse button. I have a standard 3-button mouse, so I've got the right and left, and then I've got the mouse wheel, and it's a little stiff, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to be using it right now to really survey your environment, as the game's not fully developed just yet. It's really cool because you can zoom in and you can see more details in the dragon. There's even a melee attack that at some point in this video you'll see me perform. There's a lot going on, and the best part, wait for it, the best part is what they've done to the breath weapon. When you see it, you'll know. It is so freaking cool. It's not the best fire effect I've ever seen in a game, but it just makes this game feel more... Right there. There's that badass just coming straight out of his mouth. It actually licks around objects like real fire would, which is a cool feature that I never even thought that they would add to the game. I never even addressed that. I was perfectly happy with the cheese fire that we had. You know what? That's a good idea. We need to make cheese fire. I'm going off topic, am I? It was, it was fine, but they took it to the step that I didn't even dare think that they would this early, that they made fire that lights up. I love that burst of light, and then the flames come shooting out. And if you notice, I didn't notice it at this point in there, as I'm like blowing shit up because I'm just so ecstatic about the fire. There's actually a tiny little lair. I don't know if that's been there the entire time, but there's a lair right next to that village. And right below me, as I soon find out, there are skeletons and villagers. And there are also ghouls in the game. And these are like legitimate Dungeons & Dragons ghouls. They will come out of nowhere, and they're scary. I mean, you're dragons, you shouldn't be scared, but it's just like, oh crap! The undead are coming, and I just killed some skeletons and villagers and got all their meat. There is so much going on now with this game, and anyone who had doubts about where this game would go, yeah, I found the lair. I'm like, I'm in my home. Anyone who had doubts about how this game would turn out, well, I mean, you can still have your doubts, because the game is not finished, but it is starting to look more and more like the game that we were dreaming of, and it's got a long way to go. Here I spend a little bit of time fooling with the camera and trying to burn a pig, but to no avail. Pork is fireproof. It's so nice to see updates so frequently in a game, and especially an update like this that truly makes it, I would say, playable. I mean, there's no real saving. At least I haven't discovered a save feature. I don't think I've even tried. To be honest, there's no point to that, though, because you can't layer up. You can't actually continue the progress and gain levels. You are gaining, like, points from eating things, but I haven't discovered a way to really make any difference in your stats, so I don't think the RPG elements are there. It is playable as a dragon simulator, as the barest form right now, because there's enemies, because there's a threat. You can actually die. I don't die in this video, but I get my health reduced quite a bit fighting the undead. And I'll just say, as a fan of the undead and necromancy mods and things like that, all the creepy stuff that a lot of other games try to emulate now. They shied away for so long, but I'm excited because on the forums, it's one of the things I talked about. It says, well, I love dragons, I love this concept. I really want there to be a draconic Dracolich. Just let us become undead dragons at some point. Just have a different way of playing your game within the game. It is a fantasy game. There's cyclopses, the goblins, there's, you know, there's probably gonna be orcs, there's other dragons, there's probably gonna be unicorns, who knows what else they're gonna add. You might as well give us an alternative to the standard gameplay. You can still be the evilest thing, or maybe you align with an evil kingdom or whatever, and you've mastered this dark power, and you have legions of undead at your disposal. I would adore that so much. As for now, it's so cool to think about what you can do with the standard game. Just being a dragon and burning things and devouring hapless citizens or killing cows or whatever. Or you could be a protector, a noble protector. It'd be even cool if they had, like, good and evil perks. Like, the more bad you do, you get the ability to spend points into evil perks. Maybe your dragon's horns get huge and he's a beast. Or maybe you do more good than you do evil, and your dragon's scales become iridescent or whatever, and you glow, I don't know, something cool, maybe you reflect magic, or... It's just really neat. And here I'm screwing around with a tower, because it's a tower, they added it in, and as I will note, this tower has amazing texture quality. I never really had a chance before to get close to the textures, and now with this new camera system, I can zoom in really close and see how much work they've actually put into the textures that they are putting into the game. And the ground texture, you know, still is a hit or miss. The grass is huge and it makes you feel really small, but again, that's a, you know, default. Yeah, look at the texture quality on that. That's pretty damn good for this game. And that goes to show you probably what we will be seeing in terms of the texture quality as this game progresses. At some point, I'm sure they're going to retexture the dragons. Because the dragon looks, you know, outdated by now. And that's strange to say, the game is so new. And yet, the dragon feels already just out of place. And I don't know, maybe it's because of the breath weapon and all that entailed, but... and I'm not sure if they changed the trees here. The trees look better to me? I'm not sure. I could just be awestruck by the fire, but... I can't wait to see the ice and lightning and other types of breath weapons they come up with in the future, if they do plan on adding those anytime soon. I'm not sure 100% if those are going to be in the game, if it's just a different type of fire. They said you can upgrade fire, but they did I'm paraphrasing here, they did say something about other breath weapons, so I'm hoping they give us other elements to choose from. I don't want to just be a fire dragon. I don't like fire that much. It's cool in this game, especially really cool now. It just feels so amazing to just breathe death and destruction on everything. But I'm an ice person. I love ice cold, or shadow. You know, shadow would be awesome for a black dragon. It would be amazing. But yeah, you know, we'll see what they do with that. You can definitely kill cows now. I find that out here. Pigs, I don't know if I was just unlucky, but I eat the meat. I'll even, at some point here, I think pretty soon, I'll zoom in on the meat, and meat quality looks better than it did before, but again, that's probably because I can zoom in now. And that's good, though, that you can zoom in, because you can see what you're doing. And here I'm performing a headbutt. That's the melee attack they added. And it does leave you vulnerable, because you're not able to move and perform the attack at the same time. But yeah, it's a good alternative, and at this point I was talking about the headbutt versus the breath weapon. Your breath weapon does run out when you're running on a sprint. And you maybe in the future they'll add things like elementals. Perhaps you're the fire dragon and you're onto a fire elemental. You're not going to be able to breathe fire on him and do anything. It will not affect him in the least. So what do? You melee him. Or you hire someone to kill him. Basically, just avoid him or make him your friend. I don't know. The same would be true with a rock or an ice elemental. You wouldn't want to use a similar breath weapon on it because it's not going to work, you know. Lightning is F-all not effective against a rock-type elemental. He's going to brush it off. It's just a little tingly to him. An ice elemental, you're breathing cold air on him. That's not going to help. If anything, it'll make him stronger. So you're going to have melee weapons there to guarantee you get a kill of some description, which is great. I'm glad they added the melee attacks in. And apparently they're also going to add claw attacks. I don't know if they already are in the game, I just haven't figured it out, but we will see. And I note several times in this video that the frame rate still drops slightly, and at one point it does get incredibly smooth. I think it's just an issue with the loading, and the world does vanish again. Part of the world does vanish, so I'm going to tell you guys that right now. There are some problems with the map, but when you're in it and it is working, it's much more stable than it has been. Now that you have control over the camera, the world doesn't tilt upside down all the time. You can now fix that problem. Here, right here, is where I discover an army of the undead. There are a lot of them, and you will see your first ghouls here in a bit. I go down to zoom in on skeletons here and fight them. And that is just so cool. I love this. I love this so much. I really want undead dragons. I want to be able to have an army of these things. I just want to see this mass of skeletons rushing towards the castles, and I just want to be overhead, breathing death and destruction from above. That would be so freaking awesome. Until then, you have to deal with them as a hazard when you're on the ground. I'm assuming they'll raid villages. I did find a skeleton earlier next to a village, so the inhabitants should, for the sake of this game, interact with each other without your presence as it is. I want to be able to come to a kingdom and find it infested with orcs and goblins or things like that. And here comes the ghouls. They are creepy as hell. They move super fast. Don't change them. They are fantastic. I mean, well, obviously they need running animations, but they are very creepy. And yeah, I take some damage here. Ah, here's the meat. Delicious meat. Yeah, look at all that ghoul meat. Let's eat that. Just stick it in your mouth. Yeah, there you go. Good dragon. But yeah, the inhabitants of this game are incredibly varied in the way they behave. Skeletons do a slow rushing maneuver, just like the human soldiers would, I would imagine. The difference is they're a little more durable, in my opinion. They should be, because they don't have any vital systems. You just have to break them and turn them into ash. The ghouls are very fast, and I can see that being a problem when they flesh out more of the RPG elements of this game, where you take more damage than I am here. Because, you know, if you're a young dragon, you don't want to be where you shouldn't be. It'd be so cool to just be, you know, trying to eat cattle or whatever, and then it's nighttime and the ghouls come out and they just rush you and just devastate your health. That will be freaking amazing to see. And here I discover a lair. This is a large dragon lair, and I do find treasure inside. You can't interact with the treasure, but it's there. This is a small sample of what we will be seeing when it comes to different types of lairs. You saw the small lair before. This is the large lair. And I'm hoping the dragon gets pretty big, you know, as you age category up, because it'd be really cool to be this big monster. You're fairly large, but you're not Smog. You're not like Smog in this, and I would love that to be that way, to have a massive dragon. Another cool thing is about this is that now that they've added the lairs in, at some point they will be adding in the lair claiming system in the future. And again, that's not in this build of the game, at least as far as I'm aware. But once they add lair claiming into the game, you'll actually have more of a full play experience, because that's the intent of the game, is to claim lairs, gain gold, and develop your dragon. So they'll add like human cities, they'll add lairs and all that stuff, and I want to be able to claim castles too. I want to be able to claim a human kingdom as my own. It'd be so cool to just sleep in the courtyard, and you have like a group of adventurers come up, you know, come up the mountainside to challenge you and take back Narnia or something bullshit like that. And you just breathe on them and they're dead. Your adventure was in vain. Yeah, this game is looking amazing, and I was super ecstatic about this update, because I was literally just not really paying attention to anything tonight, and I saw the update on Steam, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And it was more than I thought it would be. I said before I was gonna take a small trip away. I don't know what that light was about. That was a little strange. I think it's like afternoon now. I don't know. Maybe there is day and night. I just haven't been playing long enough. But yeah, I didn't expect the update, and I did not expect the changes that they made. And the fire was a really nice touch to the game. It makes it feel more alive than it has felt since its release, and I can't stress this enough. When it comes down to a good concept, the sky is the limit. If you look backwards, and I'm going to get very serious here, when you look back in different games of the past, concepts were everything. Those games survived. Those games became big things. I'll look at the Elder Scrolls series. Elder Scrolls originated from the Dungeons & Dragons game campaign, and it became a video game. You know, it became several games, and it probably wasn't the most popular thing of its time, but it has become one of the most iconic and popular things of our time. And it's really, someone has to have a good idea. And this kind of game, the Dragon game, many of us have thought of a game like this. This company says, we're going to develop it, we're going to make the God damn it. My monitor kind of just... Oh, it's still recording. Oh, I'm sitting here narrating and my monitor goes black. I'm like, oh! Damn. Okay. Heart attack. Yes, let's get serious again. In all honesty, it's that dedication to a dream. It's that dedication to an idea, and that's what makes a game as great as it can be. So when it comes to Dragon, somebody just like me, maybe just like you watching this video, was like, why hasn't there been a game about dragons where you play as a dragon, where you are the dragon and you do dragon things? It probably sounds really silly to any other type of gamer out there, but if you were a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, if you were a fan of most other types of games, that it took you into a different experience, to a different world, and you were immersed in it. This is that type of game. This is what this is trying to be. And I'm hoping it succeeds. I'm hoping this isn't a trick. I'm hoping this isn't just a pipe dream. I'm hoping I'm not in a coma and this is not real. Because I've wanted a game where you play as a dragon or another suitable creature. I've always thought of a werewolf game or a vampire game that you actually live as it and you do whatever the hell you want. A complete sandbox. And this is the first of those series. This is a game about dragons. So I'm going to end this video here because I've taken way too much time talking. I've actually run out of footage to talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and tell me what you think about the game. I'm going to leave a link in the comments below. As always, I'm Garrett Oakamber, and I will see you in the next episode of Dragon.